Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. It's been a while, eh? Thought I'd pop in, say hi. It's Buddhist Lent today. It's a full moon up there. It's quite nice, very peaceful here in Phuket. It's well into the rainy season now. So today is a holiday. It's the day that the Buddhist monks go into their retreat, their rainy season retreat, and they basically don't go out on their alms rounds in the mornings anymore. They stay in the temple. It's kind of for practical purposes, really, because it's just pouring down with rain most days. But yeah, it's been a while. I just wanted to say hi, catch up with you for a while, because it's been a while. I've just been mega busy. Ozu Scott, hello, good to see you, man. Work, just I've been doing editing and voiceover work and all sorts of stuff, so it's just been full on, and then doing the dad duties. So oh hi, whale or beef. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, good to see you too, man. Yeah. Oh, hello. Lev Kung Fu, hi, Sheldon. Yeah, okay, Mark. Wow, hi. Hello. Green Carta, Flat Earth, LOL. We got someone here who's not convinced, or is convinced they live on a spinning globe. Who is that? Awesome. I'm sorry. Awesome cut. Sorry, my eyesight's not too good. I've been staring at a monitor all day. Yeah, interesting that, because I did a fair shout to Mr. Cheswick. I do like watch stuff, and yeah, Mr. Cheswick's moved on over to Odyssey now, so catch him over there. Okay. All right. Awesome, Cart. You're convinced. You people are joking. Prove me wrong. Prove yourself. What do you believe? Prove your belief. That's how we all got here. We all started questioning what we believe, what we're told to believe. We all started realizing, you look at life, you look at the people around you, you look at the way things work. You look at politics, you look at marketing, you look at commercialism, you look at globalism, you look at the banking system, you look at all these things going on in the world, and it's actually good. I mean, stay tuned, Orson, because this is what I wanted to talk about. You see, the illusions that we're born into, and the illusions that we accept as our reality. And it's quite incredible once you can see through the lies. The lies. It's a long process, okay? And you only, realizing that the Earth is not a spinning globe, based on a heliocentric model, is based on actual proper scientific investigation, Orson, and real physics. Yeah, because when you look at everything we're told about the globe, and where the globe is supposed to be, where and when we are supposed to be in space, you realize that it's full of contradictions, and often the people that argue for their belief in the globe will hold on to these contradictions, or they you see, this is the thing. What I was going to say, okay, is fair shout to Mr. Cheswick for going on to Fight the Flat Earth channel and having a chat with him. I didn't hear all of it, I'm afraid. I was just really busy, but it was good, because Mr. Cheswick was approaching it in a way. It seemed very amicable to start with. But what you see with all of these globe defenders is that, like any person that is defending a belief or their persona, which we know which is something that's built up. It's a fake reality that we build up around ourselves. Everything, all the things we think and believe, these are all conceptual. They're perceptions and concepts held in our mind, and of course they do feel very real. And that's the thing about Buddhism. What I was going to talk about is we're born into these illusions, and everything from the etiquette and the values that we're taught, whether it's a religious, whatever kind of family situation you're brought into, you've got your family, but then you've got society, which is also kind of in a way, or it's an influence just as much as your family is. And then you've got the media, you've got corporate interests, you've got in this world of humanity, you've got some wonderful, beautiful people, you've got miracles happening every day, you've got people doing amazing things, but you also have psychopaths, and you also have people with they don't care for other people. They only care about themselves, and unfortunately those are the kinds of people that do end up succeeding in life. And so when it comes to questions about what people lie, we all lie to ourselves all the time. That's something we do habitually, unconsciously too. We lie to ourselves and we lie to each other, because we are constantly defending some kind of imaginary persona, the kind of plastic you, not the real you. The real you, the real consciousness that's inside is unaffected by these external things, but we very rarely tap into the real essence of our being. We're all running around with thoughts, tied up in thoughts. The moment you wake up, you start thinking about stuff, and thoughts are conditioning. Thoughts are things that manifest as they become a physical reality. They become, because the thoughts create some emotion, so there's movement in the body, within the body, whether it's blood or nerves or whatever. Things happen with emotions. That emotions they drive a feeling, a sensation, so they become physical. So you see, our thoughts and the way we think, the way we process information, it's all programmed, and most of the time we're just not aware of that. And when someone like I'm sorry, I forgot the name just now, the Glober thinks that all flat earthers are joking. That's typical. That's a typical reaction of someone that hasn't thought about it properly. And we know this. We know because we probably laughed about it ourselves at one point. And so this is the thing, realizing that you're not on a globe comes after. Well, if you look into it, fully, and you are scientific about your research into it, then you realize that we're not on a globe, and we've been bamboozled into believing that we are. But to get to it, it doesn't matter whether you question that or not. That's just one of those things that you can focus on as an indicator, a big one, a massive indicator that we're living in a realm. It's some kind of reality that we haven't really got a full grasp on. We don't really understand it. There's no science to explain our origins and things like that. Nobody knows where we came from. So it's all just stuff that's made up just to satisfy our desire for some kind of answer to life, the universe, and everything. It doesn't matter whether you're religious or not. You want to know. You want to have an answer. So the whole kind of flat Earth thing is something that many of us have arrived at realizing, because we're on a truth-seeking journey, and part of that journey is to start to see how our own minds work, to start to realize that we've been influenced and programmed throughout our lives. And so then when you start to notice that stuff, you start to catch yourself, you start to realize, you start to see the world how it is, this world of illusions. Yeah. So I was going to say, Cheswick was on the Fight the Flat Earth channel, and so what he, as you would see with anyone who is defending a stoic belief, they are unwavering. They build up this protective shield that prevents any real penetration, because it just they've just found ways to prevent any real questioning, any real scientific questioning. And it's funny because I heard and he'd chop and change, first at one point Fight the Flat Tits was saying what was he saying? I don't care what you think. I just, I don't care. It doesn't make it, because Cheswick's trying to say, hey, look, there's no pictures of the Earth from space, and can you understand why I'm skeptical? And he's like, no, I'm not. I don't care. Doesn't bother me, but of course it does, because that's his whole thing. He's an anti-flat earther. Yeah. So but that's what he's built up. He's built the Fight the Flat Earth guy has built up this wall where it'll deflect any kind of probing, and that that's the thing. I mean, that you're just dealing with fakery, and you're dealing with someone who is not interested in the truth. And it's funny how someone like that would call truth seekers stupid. He's apparently fighting against stupidity, or whatever his motto is. And it's funny because, I mean, yeah, the easiest thing in the world to believe is what we're told. And the thing is, you've got to be pretty stupid to just go along with it. And if you've actually taken the time, you can't blame people that haven't looked into it. But if you've taken the time to look into it, if you've taken the time to study the so-called science, then if you still believe that you live on a globe that's hurtling through space after a big bang, then it's not often a question of smartness or intelligence. It's just a question of because intelligent people can be the most stubborn, obstinate people that can't see beyond their own little world, and they'll do everything they can, and they'll use their intelligence to defend that, to protect themselves. Yeah. And of course, a large part of the culture that we often see we're dealing with in the West is, or with the kind of, that mindset, is the piss taking, is the kind of, this kind of, it's just silly, it's childish kind of, banter and stuff. I'm just not into it, never have been. Yeah. Because I don't like hurting other people. I don't like having it done to me. It's not a case of, but that's not a weakness either, if you don't want to be involved in all this kind of, but that's the thing, we often grow up in a culture where you have to act in a certain way to survive within that culture. Sure, I remember growing up and being a teenager and, trying to follow certain fashion trends, or feeling that you have to do this and that, always feeling a little bit of an outsider. I'm sure that's very similar for a lot of you, right? This isn't about wit or intelligence or winning. It's understanding the difference between reality and fiction, and belief and perceptions, and the real truth of the matter is that nobody has any answers. Yeah, nobody has any real answers. So in fact, I heard a Buddhist monk the other day. Good talks. Plum Village, I think, is the channel. Plum Village. I think he's a Vietnamese monk. Does some wonderful talks. And the other day he was talking about how the heliocentric science is totally wrong. It's a total contradiction of itself when you look at the real physics of entropy. The way entropy works, and is provably so, the Big Bang's impossible. Yeah. Simple as that. Yeah. So this is the thing. I think in the West, we've been so despiritualized, so disconnected from the earth, from each other, from the essence of what life's all about, because it is just about celebrating the here and now with, I was going to go off on a long one there, but just try and get back to this, stay on track with this Plum Village guy. The science. So there's this understanding that we're in a realm. We're in a realm, and there is a purpose, but it really is beyond any of us to truly know. We can have an inkling that, okay, the essence, the consciousness, the whatever is the real you, the energy that's inside the body is eternal. And when you look into the science of how the body, the mind, the spirit or soul, however you want to call it, but this you within the you, within the skin, yeah, not the mind, not what's going on in the brain. That's not the real you, not necessarily what's going on in the mind. There's something deeper than that. There's an essence, like a whatever, it's always there. You know that as you age, you don't feel any different. You learn from experience, you become wiser, you might become more tolerant, hopefully. Obviously, if we can learn, a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't learn. A lot of people get to say, I don't know, 35 and think, right, that's it. I'm staying here. I'm comfortable with this level of knowledge. I've found my thing that I can, just like the fight the flat tits guy. He's okay, that's it, boom, I am not budging, I am not moving from this place, this platform, I'm not moving on. That's how they are, and that's where they will stay, and they will continue to be like that. The rest of us, I'm sure, if you're one of these guys that's been around with us for the past 5 to 7 years, we've all grown, we've all moved on, we've all attempted to learn, whether it's new subjects, new physics. You look at Good Times for All, look at Zach there, all getting down into the science of gravity and all these things. Look at David Weiss, the Globe guys, Dell. We're all God, there's just, all these people are coming into my mind now that we're all, and some have gone, some have departed. Yeah. But we've all learned a lot about ourselves, about society, about the realm that we find ourselves in. And that's the thing, with Buddhism doesn't attempt to answer what goes on beyond life. It's funny how a lot of the religions try to tell you heaven, hell, afterlife, and what have you. there's no doubt that what you do in this life has karmic consequences, and you can equate the karma of your actions and your thoughts and your deeds. You could describe it in the same kind of way that Einstein describes E equals mc squared. It's you do something, and scientists talk about it as well. You ripple through the universe, and you're connected to a star, whatever. You can conceive it any way you like, but you put some positive energy out there, and it will come back. Whatever. It's like anything. It's a process. You've got to push. You've got to build. Like a bird builds a nest, it doesn't just do it overnight. It's twig by twig, bit by bit, yeah. And that's what we do with our lives. We learn, we're building. But as I said, a lot of people just build a fortress around them because they don't want to go anywhere. They just want to stay there. Where the rest of us are kind of, well, we're open. We're opening ourselves. Yes, you open yourself to ridicule. Look at someone like I'm not comparing myself to him or anything like that, but you look at someone like David Icke, who was well known, and then he kind of came out with his own personal stuff, and he exposed himself. He laid himself open, vulnerable to all the piss taking and everything. He was it's a good, easy example to raise, because if you're from the UK, you'll know just how much stick he got in the media, national TV and all that stuff. I mean, it was a whole, but 20 years later, or whatever, 15, 20 years later, he appears on TV again, and he's got this time he's got the backing of most of the audience, rather than them jeering at him. Yeah. Hi, Aiden. All right. Let's come in. Sorry, I haven't been watching the chat. Yeah. Yeah.
What's the topic you're talking about?
We're talking about flat Earth, reality, Buddhism.
Just a bunch of stuff normal on your channel.
Yeah. Usual channel stuff. Okay.
Wide
awake. Hello.
Yeah, I'm wide awake right now.
Yeah, I know you are. You had a nice long sleep in the daytime. All right. Do you mind if I carry on with this for a while?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, wide awake. Oh, good. You're having a chat with. I don't know if that guy's still there. Right, I'm just reading your comment, wide awake. I was a glober for 50 years until I tried to prove the globe 8 years ago, and I proved to myself it wasn't a spinning globe. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? So, okay, I'm just, all right, so Orson Cart, that's who you were. You've hello, Kevin, by the way. Okay, so Orson Clark. Well, I don't know if you're still hanging around, if you disappeared, but there you go. Sergey, hello, long time, yes. What's that? Stasi. I can't read that. Stasi. Okay, Stasi something. Yeah. All right. Where were we? Yeah, science. And again, I heard Quaig just kind of hide behind that flippant thing. You say, you ask these guys to look at reality, and they won't even come to admit that what we see around us is level. Yeah, they won't. You can argue about the horizon and all these kinds of things, but someone like Craig will just hide behind I've got science on my side, and this is the thing. It's so, again, it's just something that you look into. You look into that when you start looking into the truth, because you're looking into the, the true meaning of words and things like that we use on a daily basis, and then you realize that how something like the word science has been passed off as some kind of something irrefutable. And I remember, having this discussion with cats, whatever, conspiracy cats. And, because you can make predictions, then they believe that it's all been resolved by following the scientific method. Oh, you make an observation, that's your first part. Oh, I can see the sun doing this, or the moon doing that, or the stars doing that. Right, there's your observation. Now I theorize. You could have all kinds of theories, but in this case they theorize that the earth is moving and it's this and that. And, well, how do we prove the theory? Well, we're going to make a prediction. We're going to say, okay, the sun is going to set at this time in this position on a daily basis, and it's going to rise, and that's our prediction. We're going to predict this all the way through the year, through the century, through the millennia. And that's our science, making the predictions. Well, yeah, to a certain extent it is. That is a kind of scientific method, but the forget the assumption that you made. Just because you can make a prediction of an observation doesn't prove anything else apart from you can do that, or that actually the realm that we live in is a wonderful timepiece, better than any Rolex or Swiss watch that anyone can make. It's a magnificent timepiece, and it has to move. Things have to move. There has to be movement, otherwise there is stagnation and there is no life. So again, you flip that around. You just flip that concept of a big accidental bang to something very deliberate. We're in a realm that is designed for us to be here and have an experience. Whether our souls come into these bodies and things, who knows. But that's the thing with, there is a limit to what we can know. And again, when you're seeking the truth, then you can only go with the things that you can really prove. Yes, there's intuition and things like that. We can work things out based on our subjective experience, for sure, to an extent. But for example, we were talking about religions. The Buddha apparently never entertained the question, wouldn't even respond to the question about the afterlife or eternal life. And apparently he said things like, well, look, there's a forest full of leaves. I can pick up a handful of leaves and tell you certain things, and that will be enough. But the point was that there's this, you get to this point where you accept that we're not supposed to know, and realizing that we can't really work it out, or we can't really know, is part of the growing truth-seeking process. Because then you realize, then you can come back, instead of projecting your thoughts into the future about going off into the stars and the galaxies and spreading your seed. It's a very, very male thing, by the way, this whole space exploration and stuff. It's not necessarily a thing that, I'm not being sexist, but that's just kind of the way it kind of tends to be. Because once you realize there's a limit to, there is a limit to what you can know, what you can experience, or where you can go. But it doesn't matter. Even if you could travel to other planets, it would still be, there's nothing more exciting, and there's nothing more divine, there's nothing more varied and spontaneous than life on this earth right now, the people that you might run into tomorrow or tonight, the things that could happen, the craziness that goes on every day, the miracles that happen, yeah? That's, it doesn't matter. What's that? Still what? I hate this world, the world hates the truth. Only those who belong, the Lord will have eyes to hear. That's a bit of you seem to make some contradictory statements there. Not sure why you would hate this world. Okay. Yeah. Dog's having a dream. Can you hear the frogs in the background, by the way? Because it's the rainy season, so they come out. You've got lots of frogs. It's been raining all day. It's all cloudy now, but yeah, we have a nice, have a full moon, kind of there. What's that? Awakening soldier. You. Oh, okay. Coward truthers. What's that? I'm sorry. Coward truthers will suffer the most, ignoring the current collapse of society. Yeah, it's not that bad. It actually isn't that bad. Things are not as bad as, I mean, well, it's easy to say that now because Thailand's, only just now, like the beginning of this month with, they're still kind of umming and ahhing about masks, but basically you can come and go from Thailand now without any restrictions. It's gone back to normal in that respect. So that's a relief. It's easier to travel, and they've, the whole, you don't even have to, you don't have to show, there's no vaccine status, no, you don't even have to do a PCR test before you get on the plane anymore. It's just, okay, back to normal. I don't know what it's like in other places, but Thailand took a while. But yes, people are still wearing masks, but now I was putting them on to go into shops and stuff because they made you do it, but I don't anymore, and no one says anything. But most people are still wearing masks. It's just only see the occasional person not. But that should have been another wake-up call. All of this nonsense. But that's the thing. What you watch people. That was a frightening thing for a lot of us, wasn't it? Because you could see, and you knew that people were going to carry this thing, this fear mongering, and they were really going to get wrapped up in it, and they were going to, really basically you watch people demanding their own enslavement. It's insane, absolutely insane. But you're dealing with some very insecure people, and it's not necessarily their fault. It's because we're born into a world that is full of illusions and does make us insecure. Nuclear weapons and things like that. It's like, really, I don't think there's anything to be afraid of. Not really. Yeah. Sure, occasionally, psychopaths get out of control and they grab the reins of a country or its resources, and you see that happening a lot in Africa. And that's the thing, isn't it? You see, there's a lot of pros for a developed nation, because there is more stability, there is more fairness, there is more equality and diversity. You look at some of these African nations, and you hear the chicken, the cockerel. The African nations where, they could have the infrastructure. They've got wonderful resources and things like that, and they are being used and consumed, but it's not being divvied up among the population. It's just the greedy few that benefit from it, and the rest are left to kind of struggle. So, you know, there is. It's never ending. This isn't this. There's no end game. All right, it's always like this. That's how life is on this earth. You know, yeah, it's probably kind of cool if you're not born in somewhere like North Korea as a whatever, a slave. Who knows? But who knows what's really going on there? We don't really know. And North Koreans might love their nation as much as the Thais do, or as much as the English or the Americans do. They might be just as proud, genuinely, of their country and its achievements. Yeah? While we kind of laugh and jeer at them, they might be doing the same, because look at us, all trapped up in our fake, you know, perfumes and fast cars and stuff. Anyway, you know, no, you can't tar countries all with the same brush, but you can know that humans are hugely diverse, and every day there's wonderful opportunities to interact. And I think it's kind of what I was going off on earlier, is that, you know, that's the thing, the whole space thing, it's a distraction. You know, realizing that there's a limit to where we can go, where we can take ourselves is good, because then you come back in and you then coming back to focus on the here and the now, you know, and that's all you can ever really do, isn't it? You know, and that can be in your work as well. You do a good job. Doesn't matter whether you're getting paid for it or not. You take on a job, you're going to do it. I've been experiencing something, you know, you experience that all the time. Sometimes people want things quickly, and you're like, no, it takes time. You want quality, it takes a little bit of time, and it's okay. Yeah. So yeah, you got to kind of like, you know, you got to get to the point where you sit back and enjoy the show. Yeah. Because, and ride the wave sometimes. I think, you know, as a so-called flat earther, we are also guilty often of tarring people or things with the same brush. I mean, I've often said it, you know, like the people in even the people in the military, the people in NASA, 99.9% of them are probably fine, upstanding, lovely people. I've met some lovely people that were, you know, when the Navy boats come here. When I was working at the newspaper, I've been on the aircraft carriers, and I've taken we've taken some of the, well, variety, you know, some of the top brass, been out with them and things like that. Lovely blokes, made friends, honest, hardworking people, not wanting to go and, you know, have conflicts and stuff. And when it comes to the military, something like that, you know, yeah, it's easy to point the finger at the death and destruction and all that stuff, the factories, you know. And it's funny, isn't it? Because, you know, in the UK and the US, a lot of their industry is military budgets, you know, developing aircraft and things like that. It's all about money. I'm skipping around here, but that's reminded me of one thing I wanted to mention as well. Now that, you know, we're talking about creating industries, yeah, and that's what this whole globalism thing is. And war is the creation of an industry. You've got a purpose. You've got to, okay, we need to build planes, we need to build tanks, we need to do this and that, and there is an advancement in the tech, yeah, and there's people doing jobs. You know, this is the same with the Ukraine war. There's not a war going on really. It's just an industry that's being kept up. You know, we've got to feed money into we've got to buy missiles. Okay, it creates jobs. There's people getting jobs out of this stuff. So there's a lot of people that won't be complaining because they got work, because they get to build missiles or something like that. Yeah, it might not get used a lot of the time, but the thing is, the point I was going to make was that a country does need a strong army. It does need to defend itself, because there are people that will come along and take the piss, and that is the reality, isn't it? You've got to be strong. You've got to be smart. You've got to be steadfast, and you've got to sometimes make sacrifices to stay ahead. Yeah. And so a whole industry these days with the internet, these whole new industries are being created out of data, out of the information, sending, receiving, finding, searching information. Yeah. A lot of my work is kind of editing and writing content, and everyone and their dog wants content these days. If you've got a business, you need content. And the thing is, because of this is an industry. It's actually, content, written content, or whatever it is, media, video, but mostly written content is a whole industry. The problem is it's a constant topping up game. Yeah. I've always liked to work with clients that are kind of unique and things like that. But then what you have now is a lot of people that, say, for example, sensor technology. It's nuts, right? It's very easy to pick up sensors. They're being made by all sorts of different people. So you can you can measure the rate of flow or a water level or something like that. Yeah. And that will send information, and then you can get some third-party software that will display this data on a rev counter or a bar graph or whatever. Boom, and then it will stick it on a screen for you. There's a whole industry of display screens that can, and they've got all these different. How do you want to have your data displayed? So there's whole businesses, companies, organizations making shitloads of money out of simply grabbing this data and displaying it in a fancy way and saying, oh, look at that, okay, you're spending money here, you're wasting water there, da da da. And then you've got all these standards, these industry standards, which are set up by the financial groups. So you've got these billionaires and looking after kind of $1 trillion funds, yeah, and they are setting the standards. So the whole green environmental thing, the whole climate change agenda, all of that stuff, it is all about creating an industry. That's all it is. But that's the thing. It's like what I'm trying to say is I'm not sure if there's any harm in it, because it's just a trick to get people inspired. So you have got this whole thing which is based on. So you've got the certification, you've got people striving to get that certification. Now, in some ways it's good, because we're talking about being socially responsible, ecologically responsible. When people talk about climate change, they're still trying to look after the environment and reduce their carbon footprint and things like that, which is kind of cool. Yeah, it's better than, maybe 50 years ago when we just didn't give a toss what we threw into the water, right? I mean, that's an improvement. So there are benefits, there are good things, but there's a whole language around it. You can look up ESG, for example. I can't remember. Environment, society, I can't remember. Governance, whatever, corporate governance, ESG, I think. All these buzzwords and things, which are around this whole industry. So you've got this, these people setting the standards, and the investors, and because they're talking about long-term investment and what have you. So under all that, you've got all these different services. So you've got these guys which are providing the services to monitor your energy, your water, and all this stuff, put it all together in a fancy thing and say, that's the service they provide. So, and that's only because people are wanting to get these certificates, and that's only because the market is now, or the people with the money, the people with the real money, where it's all trickling down from, they're saying, right, okay, you've got to adhere to these standards before anything is investable. Where, we're not just looking at the financials, we're looking at these social and environmental factors, and we're kind of setting benchmarks and what have you. There's just an industry created, so that's what you understand with the whole space thing as well. Satellites, communication, building rockets and building this and that. I mean, it creates jobs. It's an industry. Invoices get made, and that's where we are now. That's I mean, my job, my living right now is just it's just defining people and their products. And the thing is that there's so many people doing exactly the same thing because they've discovered this little thing in the market. Okay, right, that's where we can get a footing, and boop, away they go. But then you realize, well, there's a whole plethora of guys doing exactly the same thing because they've seen the same opportunities in this industry that's pretty much been dreamed up out of thin air, but it's become tangible. So again, we're talking about the thoughts and the things that we have that become tangible reality. This all, because again, value is still the value of something, the worth of something. Yes, if you craft something, and yes, it has value, it has huge value, usually more sentimental value than financial value in the end, isn't it? But it's just not real, the prices and the things that we put on things. But at the same time, there's no denying that money is part of our reality, and frankly, I much prefer working hard and having some money than sitting around and not having any money. So but I'm blabbing. Trumpty Dumpty, hello. So did that guy come back? Did our Globo friend come back, or did he get scared off by everyone? What's that? Why do we just wait, Nick? We haven't seen anything yet. Okay, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but man on the edge. Good evening. Why do globe heads think that pressurized gas oxygen can exist without containment? Because they believe in gravity. They got an explanation, and this is it. That's the thing. That's all they've got. They've got an explanation, and they're happy with that, and it's their defense. And that's what you'll see these guys doing. You'll see, again, they've used their intelligence to build up a strategic defense against anything that would question their perception of reality. And that's okay, leave them to it. There's nothing you can do. We've probably all been through that stage of wanting to change someone is not it's the thing. Beautiful full moon, but I know you won't get the thing of it. I'm just trying to, I wonder if I can get it in. Oh, can you see it up there? Yeah. That's a rose, by the way, creeping up there. So anyway, it's a bit hazy tonight, very cloudy. Nice. I can't remember what I was going off on then. But yeah, let's just see. Renegade, hello, Renegade 1, good to see you, man. Chester. Sheepherder, hello. Where are you, Shen? Did you get out? Did you get off the farm yet? Squirrel Sniper, hello. Andres, hello. All right. Oh, it's lovely. Love to see you all. Yeah, hang around. There's only one rule of money. The golden rule. Yes. Okay. Tony Dixon, hello. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through just to see. One man. Hello there, one man. And Detector. Zeus Scott's still there. Oh, you're a stalwart, Zeus Scott. Yeah, my man. You're always there. Ah, yeah. Okay. All right. I'm sorry if I'm missing anyone here. Who's that? Oh, Chester. Okay. Give me some of VJJ. Says. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to blab on too long, but just wanted to really catch up, and it's really nice to do that, and just let you know it's just because I've been so mega busy. I mean, we're still half moved into this new place. It's just stuff's just not done because just things suddenly took off, and make hay while the sun shines. So yeah, that's really why. So but it doesn't stop me wanting to carry on with all the other explorations that we're doing, and there's a lot to do. There's also a lot to accept. So I'm just getting some notifications that came through. There's a point, isn't there? There's a point you get to where you accept and surrender to the way things are, and actually that's when the change comes. The funny thing about it is that we live in a realm, or we operate on this idea that if you want something to happen, you have to kind of force it. You have to make it happen. You have to push it. No pulling, only pushing. And actually, that's the thing. When you do that, then yes, you might get results, but the well-rounded, real, authentic results that you really were aiming for can only really come when you stop pushing. Yeah. You let go. And in that way, this whole kind of metaphysical way, the way we operate on a kind of mental level, as I was saying earlier, I think it really can be described in the same kind of way that you might describe physical interactions. We do create things become tangible in that sense, yeah. I mean, we know we can make stuff. We know we can make cars and things like that. We can have these ideas and make them. It's amazing what we can do. Absolutely incredible. But we can't. We can make new humans, of course, but by joining with another human. But I don't think we can make them in a lab yet. Not without something to start with that we didn't create in the first. You can't just kind of. There's nothing we can create that hasn't been created already. Yeah. or take from something that's been created, whether it's a living thing, if it's something living, yeah. We're not the creators of anything living in that sense. Something else is. So anyway, I hope you're all kind of on a good positive frequency as well, and enjoying. I think you got a nice drop of sunshine over there in the UK at the moment, so that's good to know. But I only wanted to pop in for about half an hour because it's really late here now. We're getting on for 3 a.m, and as you saw, my son was up, so I should get back in. But thanks for popping in. Really good to see you. And I thank you because I'm like got back to see me mates. Got to check in, but couldn't have a beer today. No beers today because it's a Buddhist holiday, so they're not selling beers in the shops. So let me just have a quick look through the chat. V Thomas, hello, you finally made it in. We're not interested in the effing globe. Let's talk about the full moon. Okay, yeah. TY Smoke. Who's that? TY Smoke. TY Smoke. So you wish you were still living in Bangkok? Yeah. Phuket's better. What's that? Sheep herder? What's that? Tried to put out a fire with an extinguisher filled with CO2. Then try filled with oxygen. Okay. All right. Mo me. Jump in the coffee shop. Cannabis clubs. Yeah, Mo. Okay. Oh, yeah, because it's legal now. It's legal. Yeah. In many ways. You still got to register. You register as a user, register as a seller, register as whatever. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe. Oh. What's that? Open eyes. Did you watch the video that Awake Souls featured you in? I don't know. I'm not sure how long ago that was. I have seen one, but I'm not sure. I will go and check it out. Thank you for the heads up there. And then I'll okay. I wasn't sure about that. Okay. Oh yeah, V Thomas, I agree. Yeah, I'm buzzed as well. That's the thing. It's the moon. Yeah, that's why I'm here at 2, 3 in the morning talking to you all, because the energy. My daughter often talks about that. She feels a different energy on the full moon night. And yeah, it's Buddhist. It's Buddhist. I was saying earlier on, it's Buddhist Lent. So yeah, of course, as usual here with calendar events, it's not on a specific date, but it's always going to be on the full moon of a certain period. Yeah, so the lunar calendar is still followed here, and it works fine. And as Shen sheep herder well knows, and there's the whole. It's funny. Okay, it took a long time. It took a while to realize it, but it did become very clear that that's what the heliocentric model is. It's just a solar calendar representation. That's all it is. It's just that's all. It's just a concept for time, which is not real. Yeah. And you're dealing with people. Often you're dealing with people with OCD because they love their circles, and they want the perfection. I remember there was a guy when we first started doing flat Earth videos. He hated me. And he was a geometry teacher, I think, but he was just so full of hate. Apparently he taught kids in primary or secondary school. 5 pairs, that was him. 5 pairs. Full of hate. But you could tell the way he approached this was that he loved circles, and I think that's the thing, it's. That appeals to the OCD type because it's complete. I get the whole kind of feeling of completeness, the roundness, and all that stuff. Yeah. and I get the passion for playing with the mathematics. It for some people, it has a very tangible thing. It's very real. Yeah, it's just a concept. And that's it. That's what the globe is. Just a concept. Just a concept. Just like everything else. Just like everything else. Politics is just a concept. Yeah. Democracy is just a concept. It's not how it really works. There's nowhere that's truly democratic. Yeah. If you just leave people, we were talking about Africa earlier on. If you just leave people to their own devices, they will work it out. And if there's a bad one among them, they'll sort that one out. Yeah. Leave them to it. You don't need police. You don't. Yeah. But once you kind of, you, in a way, you take away that power from people by giving them, you say, okay, we're the authority. And that means you've taken away their power. When there is no authority, then everyone becomes the authority, and people work it out on their own. Cats and dogs do. We've got a cat here now, and the dog. They work it out eventually. Yeah, they work it out between them. Yeah, the dog has to kind of Dog's a bit funny. It's funny though. Yeah, they do. They get jealous and they have their own things. Sometimes I wonder if being a dog is in some way. Sometimes it can be extremely joyful, but it can be extreme suffering because, if you're a dog, you can see that the dog's often expecting things, yeah, and then and it is so dependent. There's so much adoration for their owner. I see the dog the way, I come into the room and eyes are on me and tail goes, and they're constantly alert to that kind of thing. But it's in a way it's suffering for them, because then they miss you. They miss you so much when you're not there, or they become so dependent on you that they suffer. Yeah, do you see what I'm saying? I don't know. Is that karma? Is that just something they've got to go through? Who knows? Yeah. But yeah, I'm rambling and I'm tired, and I just want to say thank you again for coming along. And we will definitely catch up soon. I just wanted to make sure I said hi to everyone in the chat. So I'll have a look through this later. But do drop some comments in. V. Thomas, you remember 5 pairs? Oh yeah, okay. Open their eyes. Hello. The title of Awake Soul video is Heliocentrism and the Fake Flat Earth Debunked. He played the footage and some stuff. Oh yeah, I think I have seen that. Yeah, and I really like it. Thank you. Yeah, it's just humbling. Yeah. yeah, I have seen that one. Yeah. So David, hello David Marks. Oh, you never reply to me, man. I keep writing to you, never reply. All right. V. Thomas, I think you're right. Yeah. There's a thing that, oh man, we can chat for ages. Okay. In some ways, I feel like we're just warming up. But I can't. I've got to get back. I've got to get my kid to bed, read him a story and stuff like that, and take care of a few other things, and get up in the morning. Yeah. So, thank you for coming by. It's really good to catch up. All right. This is the last time I am saying goodbye now. Okay. So, Sawadi Khab. Have a great Buddhist Lent. Take care, okay? Speak soon, all right? Cheers.